A surprising discovery. The Galactic Council recoiled in disgust and horror as the footage of the human engineer's grotesque leg wound was broadcast on the large screen. Blood and bones exposed, sending the alien delegates into a panicked frenzy. The Council demanded to know why a human would have such a disturbing body part hidden inside them. Captain James Maverick Mitchell shifted uneasily before the semicircle of alien representatives. The Zorian leader Kolks glared at him, tentacles twitching impatiently. Maverick realized the fate of future human-alien relations, trade, and military alliances hinged on how he explained human anatomy to these shocked extraterrestrials. The tension was palpable. He had to convince them humans weren't hiding other ghastly secrets beneath their skin, or humanity would be labeled as repulsive monsters and shunned by the galactic community. Maverick took a deep breath. The future of his species depended on his next words. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, he began, his voice steady despite his inner turmoil. I understand your shock and concern. Allow me to explain what you have seen. He gestured towards the holographic screen that replayed the incident. A human engineer, Jack Daniels, was guiding a large cargo container into place when suddenly the straps holding it snapped. The container fell, landing directly on Jack's leg with a sickening crunch. The 6 in the video rushed to help, using their advanced technology to lift the heavy container off Jack. But as they did, they suddenly recoiled, backing away with expressions of pure horror. The camera zoomed in, showing the reason for their reaction. Jack's leg was badly damaged, blood pooling on the ground, but what truly horrified the 6 was the jagged white bone protruding from the torn flesh. As the recording ended, the council chamber erupted in agitated chatter. Maverick could pick out words like disgusting, monstrous, and deliberately deceptive. Kolks silenced the room with a sharp gesture. He turned back to Maverick, eyes hard. Explain this, human. Why have you hidden the existence of these internal skeletal structures from us? Realization dawned on Maverick. The 6, like many insectoid species, had exoskeletons. The concept of bones inside the body must be completely foreign and disturbing to them. It's not like that, Maverick began, raising his hands in a placating gesture. We weren't trying to hide anything. It's just, all humans have skeletons. It's a normal part of our biology. This was clearly the wrong thing to say. The council members reacted with shock and revulsion. All of you have these things inside you, one demanded, deliberately sealed under your skin. No, it's not a secret, Maverick tried to explain. It's common knowledge among humans. We thought other species knew. Surely you've seen our medical scans. But they weren't listening. They spoke over each other, their voices rising in anger and disgust. Deception. Ghastly. Cannot be trusted. Maverick felt his frustration rising as the council descended into chaos. The accusations flew fast and furious, each one more ludicrous than the last. They've been hiding these bones from us the whole time, one member shouted. Who knows what else they're concealing? We can't trust them, another chimed in. They should be banned from all future joint missions until we get to the bottom of this deception. Maverick slammed his fist on the podium, the sound echoing through the chamber. The council fell silent, all eyes turning to him. He took a deep breath, trying to rein in his anger. With all due respect, he began, his voice taut, this is not deception. Just because you were unaware of a basic facet of human biology does not mean we were actively hiding it. Kolks leaned forward, his eyes narrowed. Then explain it to us, human. Explain why you have these bones inside you. Maverick paused, considering his next move. Words didn't seem to be getting through to them. He needed to show them, to make them understand. Counselors, he said, I request permission to demonstrate the true nature of the human skeletal system. A murmur ran through the council. They exchanged glances, some curious, others wary. Finally, Kolks nodded. Permission granted. Proceed. Maverick stepped out from behind the podium. He reached for the collar of his uniform, unfastening it. With a shrug of his shoulders, he removed his shirt entirely. A gasp ran through the council chamber. Maverick stood before them, his muscular torso on full display. Years of rigorous training had honed his body into a weapon, and it showed in every defined muscle. But that wasn't what he was here to demonstrate. Reaching into his pocket, Maverick pulled out a small handheld device. It was an X-ray scanner, standard issue for all Terran military personnel. He held the device up to his arm and activated it. A beam of light scanned across his skin, and a moment later, a holographic image sprung to life, projected onto the council chamber's main screen. It was an image of Maverick's arm, but not as the council had ever seen a human arm before. Beneath the layers of skin and muscle, a complex structure of bones was clearly visible. They ran the length of his arm from shoulder to fingertips, an intricate network of interconnected pieces. The council stared in a mixture of fascination and horror. Some leaned forward as if trying to get a closer look. Others recoiled, their faces twisted in revulsion. "This," Maverick said, his voice ringing out in the silence, "is the human skeletal system. It's not a secret or a deception. It's a fundamental part of our anatomy, just like your exoskeletons are a part of yours." He moved the scanner, running it across his chest. The hologram shifted, revealing the bones of his rib cage, his spine, the vertebrae stacking up to his neck. "Every human has this," he continued. "It's what gives our body structure and support. Without it, we would collapse." The council was silent, transfixed by the image. Maverick could see the gears turning in their minds as they tried to process this new information. Colks was the first to speak. "And this is normal for your species. It causes you no harm." Maverick shook his head. "No, it's completely natural. In fact, it's essential for our survival. Our bones protect our vital organs, allow us to move and function." He deactivated the scanner, and the hologram faded. The council chamber felt oddly empty without it, the silence stretching on. Maverick stood tall, his bare chest glistening under the council chamber's lights. He knew this was his chance to make them understand, to show them the truth about the human body. He took a deep breath and began to speak, his voice strong and clear. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," he said, "I know the sight of our internal skeletons may seem strange, even frightening to you. But I assure you, they are not a weakness or a deception. They are a source of strength, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit." He began to pace, his hands gesturing as he spoke. "Our bones are not just structural support. They are a living, adaptable system. They grow with us from infancy to adulthood, constantly reshaping themselves to meet the demands we place on them." Maverick paused, his eyes scanning the council. Some leaned forward, intrigued. Others, like Colks, still looked skeptical. He pressed on. "When we break a bone, it heals, becoming even stronger in the process. This adaptability has allowed us to survive and thrive in the harshest of environments, from the depths of our oceans to the vacuum of space." He tapped his chest, right over his heart. "Our rib cage, for example, protects our most vital organs. It can withstand tremendous force, absorbing impacts that would otherwise be fatal." Maverick could see some of the council members nodding, a glimmer of understanding in their eyes. But the 6, with their chitinous exoskeletons, still looked unconvinced. "I know it may be hard for you to grasp," Maverick said, addressing them directly, "but our bones are not a liability. They are an essential part of who we are, of what makes us human." He thought of Jack, of the pain he must have endured. Yes, they can break. Yes, they can cause us pain. But they also allow us to endure, to persevere in the face of adversity. Maverick's voice rose, passion infusing every word. "Our skeletons are a symbol of our strength, of our unyielding spirit. They have carried us to the stars and beyond, and they will continue to do so, no matter what challenges we face." He spread his arms wide, as if embracing the entire council. So I ask you, not to fear our bones, but to understand them, to see them for what they truly are, a crucial part of the human experience, and a testament to our resilience as a species. As Maverick finished, a hush fell over the chamber. For a moment, no one spoke. Then, slowly, a few council members began to clap. Others joined in, until the room was filled with applause. But not everyone was convinced. Kolk stood, his tentacles crossed. "Pretty words, human," he said, "but we need more than speeches. We need proof." Other six nodded in agreement, their compound eyes fixed on Maverick. He met their gaze, unflinching. "What kind of proof?" he asked, though he already had an idea. Kolk's mandibles twitched. "Show us," he said. "Show us how these bones of yours can withstand the rigors of space, as you claim." Maverick's mind raced. He knew what he had to do, but it wouldn't be easy. It would require a demonstration of the strength and resilience of the human skeletal system, something tangible that the council could not ignore. He squared his shoulders, ready to face whatever challenge the council proposed. The fate of human-alien relations hung in the balance, and he would not let his species down. "Very well," Maverick said, his voice steady. "I will give you your proof." The challenge. Maverick stood tall before the council, his resolve unwavering in the face of their skepticism. He knew that words alone would not convince them of the strength and resilience of the human skeletal system. It was time for action. "I propose a challenge," he declared, his voice ringing out in the chamber. "A contest of strength and endurance between myself and your strongest warrior. Let us put these bones of mine to the test and see once and for all the true power of the human body." The council members exchanged glances, murmuring amongst themselves. Kolk's eyes narrowed, his tentacles twitching. "And what would this challenge entail, human?" Maverick met his gaze, unflinching. "A series of physical tests, weightlifting, hand-to-hand combat, and an obstacle course designed to push us to our limits. Let the council witness firsthand the capabilities of the human skeletal system." There was a moment of tense silence as the council considered his proposal. Finally, Kolk nodded. "Very well, human. We accept your challenge. But know this. If you fail, it will only confirm our suspicions about your species." Maverick's jaw tightened. "I won't fail." The council chamber buzzed with activity as preparations were made for the challenge. The central arena, usually reserved for diplomatic discussions, was quickly transformed into a makeshift battleground. Weights were brought in, obstacles were set up, and a large screen was erected to display the action for all to see. Maverick stood at one end of the arena, stretching his muscles. He had discarded his shirt, his bare torso glistening under the bright lights. Across from him, the sixth warrior emerged, its chitinous exoskeleton gleaming. It was a formidable sight, standing nearly 2 heads taller than Maverick, its forearms rippling with strength. The first test was weightlifting. Massive metal plates were loaded onto a bar, the weight increasing with each round. Maverick and the sixth warrior took turns, each straining to lift the tremendous burden. As the weight increased, the sixth began to struggle. Its exoskeleton creaked and groaned under the pressure, its arms trembling with the effort. But Maverick, with the support of his skeletal system, powered through. His bones absorbed the stress, his muscles working in harmony to hoist the weight above his head. The council watched in amazement as Maverick outlasted the six, lifting weights that would have crushed a lesser being. The screen displayed the X-ray of his skeletal system, highlighting the incredible strength of his bones. Next came hand-to-hand combat. Maverick and the sixth warrior circled each other, their stances low and ready. The sixth struck first, its forearms a blur of motion. But Maverick was quick, his reflexes honed by years of training. He dodged and weaved, his bones absorbing the impact of the blows that did connect. Maverick retaliated, striking with precision and power. His fists slammed into the six's exoskeleton, each impact reverberating through the arena. The six staggered back, its armor cracked and dented. The fight was brutal, both combatants giving it their all. But as the minutes ticked by, it became clear that Maverick's endurance was superior. His skeletal system allowed him to keep going, even as the six began to tire. In a final, desperate move, the six lunged at Maverick, seeking to grapple him to the ground. But Maverick was ready. He sidestepped the attack and delivered a devastating blow to the six's midsection. The six crumpled, its exoskeleton shattered. The council gasped, some leaning forward in their seats. Never had they seen a human display such raw strength and skill. The final test was the obstacle course, a grueling gauntlet of physical challenges designed to test speed, agility, and endurance. Maverick and the sixth warrior lined up at the start, both panting from their previous exertions. At the signal, they were off, racing through the course. They leaped over barriers, crawled under nets, and scaled towering walls. The six, with its forearms, had an advantage on the climbing sections. But Maverick's bones, strong and light, allowed him to move with incredible speed and precision. They reached the final obstacle, a massive boulder that had to be lifted and carried to the finish line. The sixth warrior grasped the boulder, its exoskeleton straining. It managed to lift it a few inches off the ground before its armor began to crack, the pressure too much to bear. Maverick stepped up, gripping the boulder. He took a deep breath, channeling all his strength. His muscles bulged, his bones bearing the incredible weight. Slowly, steadily, he lifted the boulder, his skeletal system supporting him every step of the way. The council watched in awe as Maverick carried the boulder across the finish line, his body pushed to the absolute limit. He dropped it to the ground with a resounding thud, his chest heaving. There was a moment of stunned silence. Then the council erupted in applause. Coke stood, his expression one of begrudging respect. "Human," he said, "you have proven the strength and value of your skeletal system. We were wrong to doubt you." Maverick, exhausted but triumphant, nodded. "I hope this demonstration has shown you the true nature of human anatomy. Our bones are not a weakness, but a source of great strength." Colks bowed his head. "Indeed, and for our ignorance and prejudice, I apologize. On behalf of the council, we will spread the word of what we have learned here today, so that all may know the truth about the human race." Maverick felt a surge of pride. He had done it. He had defended the honor of his species and shown the galaxy the remarkable power of the human skeletal system. As he made his way back to his ship, his body ached, but his spirit soared. He knew that this was only the beginning, that there would be more challenges to come. But he also knew that with the strength of his bones and the resilience of the human spirit, there was nothing they couldn't face. A deeper understanding. After the challenge, the atmosphere in the Galactic Council chamber shifted. The aliens who had once looked at humans with a mix of curiosity and suspicion now viewed them with newfound respect. Maverick's demonstration had not only proven the strength of the human skeletal system, but also highlighted the determination and resilience of the human spirit. Colks approached Maverick as he prepared to leave. "Captain Maverick, a moment of your time, please." Maverick turned to face the Zorian leader. "Of course, Colks. What can I do for you?" Colks's tentacles twitched in a gesture that Maverick had come to recognize as thoughtful contemplation. "Your demonstration was impressive. It has given us much to consider about your species. However, there are still many questions. We would like to learn more about human biology, to understand better how your bodies work, and how we might collaborate more effectively in the future." Maverick nodded. "I understand. I would be happy to provide more information and arrange for our scientists to share their knowledge with your researchers. It is in our best interest to foster mutual understanding and cooperation." Colks's eyes glinted with interest. "That would be most beneficial. We have much to learn from each other. Perhaps you could begin by explaining the process of bone healing and how your medical technologies support this." Maverick smiled. "Certainly. Bone healing is a remarkable process. When a bone is broken, the body immediately sets to work repairing the damage. Blood clots form around the break, creating a temporary scaffold. Over time, specialized cells called osteoblasts produce new bone material, gradually bridging the gap and restoring the bone's strength. Colks listened intently, his tentacles still. Fascinating. And your medical technologies can enhance this process. Yes, Maverick continued. We have developed advanced treatments that accelerate bone healing. These include bone grafts, where healthy bone tissue is transplanted to the injury site, and bioengineered materials that mimic bone structure. We also use devices like ultrasonic bone stimulators to promote cell growth and speed up recovery. Colks nodded, absorbing the information. This knowledge could be invaluable in improving our own medical practices. We have always relied on external structures for protection and support, but understanding internal frameworks could open new possibilities. Maverick agreed. There's a lot we can learn from each other. Our differences in biology and technology can complement one another, leading to innovations that benefit both our species. As the discussion continued, Maverick felt a sense of optimism. This exchange of knowledge was exactly what he had hoped for. By sharing their strengths and learning from each other's unique characteristics, humans and aliens could build a stronger, more united future. Building bridges. Over the following weeks, Maverick worked closely with Colks and other council members to facilitate a series of knowledge exchange programs. Human scientists and medical experts traveled to the Six homeworld to study their exoskeletal structures, while 6 researchers visited Earth to learn about human anatomy and medical advancements. The collaboration was a resounding success. Human researchers were fascinated by the Six's natural armor and their ability to regenerate damaged exoskeletons. They discovered ways to incorporate these regenerative properties into human medical treatments, leading to breakthroughs in wound healing and tissue regeneration. Conversely, the Six were amazed by the complexity and adaptability of the human skeletal system. They developed new materials and techniques to strengthen their exoskeletons, inspired by the structural integrity of human bones. One particularly fruitful area of research was the development of hybrid prosthetics. Combining human and Six technologies, scientists created advanced prosthetic limbs that were stronger, more durable, and more responsive than anything previously available. These prosthetics were a testament to the power of cooperation and the potential for innovation when different species work together. As the scientific collaboration flourished, so did cultural exchanges. Human and Six artists, musicians, and writers shared their work, finding common ground in their creative expressions. Diplomatic relations improved, and trade agreements were established, benefiting both civilizations. Maverick watched these developments with pride. He had always believed in the importance of understanding and cooperation, and now he was seeing the tangible results of those ideals. The once skeptical Galactic Council members now spoke of humans with admiration and respect, recognizing the value they brought to the interstellar community. One evening, Maverick received an invitation from Colks to attend a cultural celebration on the Six homeworld. It was a significant honor, and Maverick accepted eagerly. He arrived to find a vibrant festival filled with music, dance, and food from both human and Six cultures. Colks greeted him warmly. "Captain Maverick, welcome. We are honored to have you here." "The honor is mine, Colks," Maverick replied. "This celebration is a testament to the strength of our partnership." As they walked through the festival, Colks gestured to the various exhibits and performances. "This would not have been possible without your efforts. You have shown us that despite our differences, we can find common ground and work together for the greater good." Maverick smiled. "It has been a collective effort. We all have a role to play in building a better future." Colks nodded. "Indeed, and there is still much to learn and achieve. But I am confident that with you and your people as our allies, we can overcome any challenge." The festival continued late into the night, a joyous celebration of unity and collaboration. As Maverick looked around at the smiling faces of humans and Six alike, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This was what he had always strived for, a galaxy where different species could come together, learn from each other, and create a brighter future. Unforeseen challenges. Just as it seemed that the future was bright and the bonds between humans and the Six were strengthening, unforeseen challenges arose. Deep in the outer reaches of the galaxy, a previously unknown species made contact, the Psylocks, a race of highly intelligent, yet fiercely territorial beings. The Psylocks viewed the growing alliance between humans and the Six with suspicion and hostility, fearing it would upset the balance of power in the galaxy. Tensions began to mount as the Psylocks made their presence known. Diplomatic overtures were met with threats and posturing, and soon skirmishes broke out in contested regions. The Galactic Council was thrust into a state of crisis, and Maverick found himself once again at the center of a delicate and dangerous situation. The Psylocks were unlike any species the Council had encountered. Their technology was advanced, their tactics ruthless, and their intentions unclear. They communicated through a complex combination of pheromones, light patterns, and subsonic vibrations, making direct communication challenging. Maverick, along with Colks and other council members, worked tirelessly to find a peaceful resolution. However, it became increasingly apparent that the Psylocks were not interested in diplomacy. They saw the alliance between humans and the Six as a direct threat to their dominance, and were determined to eliminate it by any means necessary. One fateful day, the Psylocks launched a surprise attack on a joint human-Six research facility located on the edge of Psylocks space. The assault was swift and brutal, resulting in significant casualties and the destruction of valuable research. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session to address the escalating conflict. Emotions ran high as delegates debated the best course of action. Some called for immediate retaliation, while others urged caution and further attempts at diplomacy. Maverick stood before the council, his expression grave. Esteemed members of the council, we must not let fear and anger dictate our actions. The Psylocks are a formidable adversary, but we must exhaust all possible avenues for peace before resorting to violence. Colks nodded in agreement. Captain Maverick is right. We cannot afford to escalate this conflict further. We must find a way to communicate with the Psylocks, to understand their concerns and address them. The Council agreed to send a delegation to the Psylocks' homeworld in a final attempt to negotiate peace. Maverick volunteered to lead the delegation, knowing the risks involved but determined to prevent a full-scale war. The Psylocks encounter. The journey to the Psylocks' homeworld was tense and fraught with uncertainty. Maverick and his team, which included Colks and other representatives from the Galactic Council, prepared for the encounter with the utmost care. They studied Psylocks' communication methods, hoping to bridge the gap and find common ground. Upon arrival, they were met with a formidable Psylocks delegation. The Psylocks leader, an imposing figure named Vrax, observed them with cold, calculating eyes. Communication was difficult, but Maverick and Colks persevered, using a combination of technology and interpreters to convey their message of peace. Vrax listened, his expression inscrutable. Finally, he spoke, his voice a series of clicks and vibrations translated by the interpreters. You speak of peace, yet your alliance threatens the balance of power in the galaxy. Why should we trust you? Maverick took a deep breath. We understand your concerns, Vrax. Our alliance is not meant to dominate or threaten other species. It is built on mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation. We believe that by working together, we can achieve greater prosperity and security for all. Colks added, we have much to offer each other. Our knowledge, technology, and cultures can enrich our lives and help us overcome common challenges. We seek only to live in peace and cooperation. Vrax's eyes narrowed. And what of your hidden strength, human? The bones beneath your flesh that make you so formidable. How can we trust that you will not use that strength against us? Maverick met Vrax's gaze, unflinching. Our strength is not something we use to conquer or dominate. It is a part of who we are, just as your abilities are a part of you. We use our strength to protect, to build, and to create. We have no desire to harm you or any other species." There was a long silence as Vrax considered their words. Finally, he spoke again, his tone measured. "Your words are persuasive, Captain Maverick, but words alone are not enough. We will allow you to prove your intentions, a trial of trust and cooperation." Maverick nodded. "We accept your challenge. What do you propose?" Vrax's eyes glinted. "A joint mission. Your team and ours will work together on a project of mutual benefit. If you can demonstrate your commitment to peace and cooperation, we will reconsider our stance." Maverick agreed, knowing this was their best chance to avert war. The details of the mission were quickly arranged. A scientific expedition to a nearby planet rich in resources, but fraught with environmental challenges. The mission would require the combined skills and technologies of both species. A new alliance. The joint mission was a test of trust, cooperation, and resilience. Maverick and his team, along with the Psylocke delegation led by Vrax, embarked on the expedition with determination and hope. The planet they were to explore was a harsh environment, with extreme weather conditions and dangerous wildlife. Despite initial tension, the team soon realized they needed to rely on each other's strengths to succeed. The Psylocke, with their advanced environmental suits and adaptive technology, navigated the treacherous terrain with ease. The humans, with their ingenuity and problem-solving skills, devised innovative solutions to the challenges they encountered. One critical moment came when a sudden storm trapped the team in a deep ravine. The Psylocke suits protected them from the elements, but their technology couldn't get them out. Maverick and his team used their knowledge of engineering and physics to construct a makeshift bridge, allowing everyone to escape to safety. As the mission progressed, mutual respect and camaraderie grew. Vrax, once skeptical and distrustful, began to see the value in cooperation. He witnessed firsthand the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit, qualities that complemented the Psylocke's strengths. By the time the mission was completed, the teams had collected valuable data and resources, but more importantly, they had forged a bond of trust and understanding. Vrax and Maverick stood side by side as they returned to the Galactic Council, their success a testament to what could be achieved through cooperation. The council convened to hear the report. Vrax spoke first, his tone respectful. "Members of the council, I stand before you today with a new perspective. The humans have proven their intentions through their actions. They are not a threat but a potential ally. We propose a truce and a framework for future collaboration." The council members exchanged glances, then turned to Maverick. He stepped forward, his voice filled with hope. "We have shown that by working together, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. Let this be the beginning of a new era of peace and cooperation. Together, we can build a brighter future for all our species." The council erupted in applause, their previous doubts and fears replaced by a sense of optimism and unity. The alliance between humans, the Six, and now the Psylocke was a powerful symbol of what could be achieved when different species came together with a shared vision. Maverick felt a deep sense of fulfillment as he looked around the chamber. This was the future he had always dreamed of. A galaxy where differences were celebrated and cooperation was the key to progress. As he left the council chamber, he knew there would still be challenges ahead, but with the strength of their newfound alliances, there was nothing they couldn't overcome. Conclusion. The journey from suspicion and misunderstanding to trust and cooperation had been long and challenging, but it had ultimately led to a stronger, more united galaxy. Captain James Maverick Mitchell had played a crucial role in bridging the gap between species, demonstrating the power of resilience, ingenuity, and the human spirit. As the alliance between humans, the Six, and the Psylocke grew, so did their collective knowledge and technological advancements. Together, they explored new frontiers, solved complex problems, and faced any threats that arose with confidence and solidarity. Maverick's legacy was one of hope and determination. His actions had shown that even in the face of fear and adversity, understanding and cooperation could prevail. The Galactic Council, once divided and suspicious, now stood as a beacon of unity and progress. And so, the galaxy moved forward, guided by the principles of mutual respect and collaboration. The stars shone brightly, illuminating a future where different species work together to create a better, more harmonious existence. For Maverick, Colx, Vrax, and all those who had been part of this incredible journey, the message was clear. Together, they were stronger, and together, they would shape the destiny of the galaxy.